walk like you, talk like you do. You say it's true. A name like me can learn to be human Don't cat give me man club. I made a deal with you. How does that? It's made there to make my dream come true. Give me the secret, man cub. Come on, what to do? Give me the power, man the power, so I can be like you. Oh, me too. I wanna be like you. I walk like you, talk like you too. You say it's true. A name like me can learn to be like someone like me. Can learn to be like someone like you. One more time. Can learn to be like someone like me.
Way to go, you guys. Give it up one more time for them. Excellent. All right, boys and girls, you can head on back that way, and you will be back. You're welcome. You can head on back out in just a few minutes. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Morrill. I'm our Kids and Family Director, and, I show up to work wearing a nice shirt this morning, happy. It took me a few minutes to get ready, and I immediately get handed this and told to put it on. So I don't even know, it's a monkey of some sort, but hey, this is what happens when you work with kids at this place, and we have a whole lot of fun. Hey, if you saw that here tonight, you have children, we also have our elementary children in the service tonight as well, so that they can see exactly what God is doing through kids their age, and that they are empowered and equipped, and they have every ability to spread the gospel just like they do. So we wanted to make sure they saw that. So what we want you to know is what you're seeing here took 4 months of preparation every single Wednesday night of practice and rehearsal and all of these things to make this happen. And this summer, we're actually going to have a very intensive one-week camp that's going to take place right here at the Orion campus. And to bring you up to speed with what that is like and about, we want you to watch this. Check it out.
If you're a kid who loves the spotlight, if you like to dance, sing, act, and capture an audience, listen up. We all have a story, an audience, and a unique way of sharing our message of love and hope to the world. Come join us August 6th through 10th at this one-of-a-kind summer camp, where we will dream, encourage one another, and explore new ways of using our gifts and talents to make the world a better place. Each day, students will rotate through fast-paced classes in music, dance, and drama, as well as a large group session where we will explore God's love for us and the different ways we can share that love with others. And for the first time ever, all 6 Kaleo locations will be coming together under one roof at our Orion campus. Don't miss your chance to experience this unique camp. Space is limited, so sign up soon.
There you go. You can sign up right there at the website, kensingtonchurch.org/Kaleo. So check it out, August 6th through 10th. We hope many, many children are a part of that. Hey, 2 weeks from now, May 18th through 20th, many, probably near 1,000 women are going to be up at Spring Hill Camp in Everett, Michigan for our annual Smash weekend. Many of you sound like you will be there as well. And we're so excited about what God does through this entire experience. And we just want to make sure you're aware there's still a few spots that are open. It's nearly full, but you have a little more time, or just really this week, to sign up for it. It's a weekend filled with inspiration, dynamic speakers. And it is a week where I literally see, as I'm back here, you see women coming back with a new paradigm, a new perspective, a new passion for their life, for Jesus more than anything else. And so I encourage you to think about that if you're free that weekend. And if you are wondering, gosh, I don't know if I'm going to know anybody, bring somebody along with you. You're going to enjoy it with them, and you're going to meet a ton of new people as well. So again, May 18th through 20th, you can sign up online for that. Speaking of, next weekend is Mother's Day as well. We're looking forward to a great service on Sunday morning, but wanted to make sure you are aware too that we will not be having Sunday night services next week just because of the holiday. So many people spending time with their families, Mother's Day dinners and whatnot. So make sure next weekend, if you're coming to church, you are choosing one of our 3 services in the morning. I'm up here specifically to talk about this card tonight. What's coming up in the next few months is really critical for us back in our kids' wing. 40 weeks a year, we have people who basically give almost every single weekend, 1 hour a weekend, to taking care of many of your children back in our children's area. As we get into summer, starting Father's Day, all the way through Labor Day, many of those people are gone, and it literally leaves gaps in our program as they travel or they're with family, whatever they are doing with their summer time. But we still need to run a very safe and effective kids program, and this is where we're asking you to come into the situation or come into stand in the gap literally for us. And here's the most important reason why. Every single weekend, we have anywhere from 12 to 20 new kids, new children that enter into our area. So if you really want to do the math on that, 1.5 students, we're probably somewhere between 8 or 1.5 kids per family. We're somewhere between 8 and 12 families that are entering in. 8 to 12 sets of parents that are coming in to this auditorium as a result of dropping their kids off. Now, if they're new, though, they're probably getting here just a little bit later. They're after going through all the parking lot stuff, getting in, finding their way. They're getting to the desk usually after the service starts, and by the time they make it back to the room, they're about to check in, and they find out that these rooms are actually very nearly full, which happens often to us, especially in the summertime, because we need a certain number of adults for every child that is in the room. And we say that in the first 7 minutes, an impression is made whether or not people want to come back to this church. And if in that 7 minutes, if a person is coming for the first time, they've just decided that this may not be the experience that they hoped it would be. And so we want them to have a wonderful experience. We want to have as many volunteers in these rooms as possible. And so we are asking you if you would be willing to give an hour or 2 hours, 2 separate times, maybe even 3 throughout the summer, where you could stand in the gap and be back in that classroom, making a difference not only in the child's life, but in the family's life as well. Because as that child is safe and taken care of back in our children's area, the parent is sitting in this seat, hearing a message from Dave, hearing a message from Cody that is changing their heart, which then they take back into their own home and begins to change the legacy of that home as well. And so it's a little bit of that butterfly effect, if you know what I'm talking about, where 1 hour, literally one person being in that room, can change the trajectory of a family. And so we're asking you to be a part of that with us. These cards are in your hand. You can fill these out during the service. Put your name, your email. We will contact you. You can put them in the offering basket that comes by in just a little while as well. And we will be in contact with you. It's a fun time as well. We got food. We got coffee for you. And you will walk away enjoying that hour as much as the children will. So thank you so much for being in partnership with us. Hey, final thing is we are 1 week away from our opening of our Clinton Township campus. Is that worth clapping for right now? 1 week away from a new building. And to celebrate that and fill you in on a part you can still play, here is our fearless, wonderful leader, Dave Wilson. That's great.
You hear it?
The people behind you really appreciate that.
Sauce.
That's wonderful. They're passing out because of the fumes that are being blown in their face.
That's good for you. You
So
want fumes at
considerate.
church.
I love it. It's great. Hey, so why are you here? You look like you're going to the play Grease or something. What's going on?
They don't even know what grease is, do you?
Who knows what Grease is? Thank you very much.
Grease is the word, is the word. You want to do
That
it,
was
guys?
kind of your generation, wasn't
Nah,
it?
quit
Anyway,
it, quit it.
Go ahead.
Quit it.
All right, so why are you here on a
No,
motorcycle?
I'm riding a motorcycle. I rode my motorcycle today. That's not my bike, though. That is a brand new 2017 Harley Softail. It's worth $21,000, and it can be yours. Here's the amazing thing. You know, we're opening our Clinton Township building next week. They move in, and that building is right beside Wolverine Harley. Anybody been there? It's the biggest Harley dealer in Michigan, and the owner said, I'm going to give you this bike. You can raffle it off, $30 a ticket, or 3 tickets for $50. All that money's going to the building. It's going to be a gift to the building, and somebody's going to get that bike. Somebody's going to take that bike home. I think it's going to be me, but it might be you. Seriously, you can buy tickets tonight. You can go on your phone right now, go to the app, buy tickets, get as many as you want, and win that bike. And as you do that, you're giving to a great cause. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's really cool.
So you have to tell the other story. You forgot your keys tonight, too, that you went all the way home. How
You
much
know
time
that?
yeah, I know that.
How do you know
because
that?
I had to think through what I was going to say if you weren't up here with me. So
I was
how much
halfway
time did you
here.
have to spare by getting back here? Did you have like 30 seconds?
I left
maybe?
the keys at home, so I turned around, went back and got them. And I was pulling in when you were doing Standing in the Gap.
That's great. That's
So that was
awesome.
good.
Well done.
It was worth it, though. You're going to go buy
tickets.
tickets, aren't you? Please
Yeah.
go get tickets.
There you go.
And if you're a rider, let me add this. May 19th, we're doing a blessing of the bikes at our Clinton Township campus with Wolverine Harley, which is going to be awesome. So get your bike. And this one's going to be September 16th is the raffle.
September
16th.
May
We'll find out.
May 16th.
May 19th is the blessing of the bike. September is the raffle.
September.
And somebody
Okay,
will win this thing, and it'll be awesome.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, there you go. We hope you jump into that. Right now, we want you to stand up, greet a few people around you, and we're glad you're here. Enjoy the service.
This is the story of Mismatch. Say hello, Mismatch. Hello, Mismatch. No. Say hello to your audience, Mismatch. Hello to your audience, Mismatch.
Never mind.
This is the story of Mismatch. Mismatch is a swooflia. What is that, you ask? Well, the swoofs are a lot like you and me, except they're not because they're imaginary. Now, that is different from pretend. They do indeed exist, but in imagination. No, that is most definitely a real place. It's just very different. And there's a town there called Swooflia, and all the swoofs live there, and this is gonna take all day. Just trust me, they're real. And like you and me, they have families and feelings, jobs and homes. But they're different. And well, why don't we just let them show you? We'll call this Scene 1, Mismatch Mismatches. And because all great stories need a great opening number, here's ours. Swoops. Swoops. We walk the same, we talk the same. Swoops. We dance the same, wear pants the same. Swoops. We always follow the latest trends. And if you don't, we can't be friends. 'Cause we do everything, 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 everything the same.
You used to rock a perm, but now it's wavy. You used to wear blue, but now it's navy. You used to play cool, but now we're crazy. And that's what it's like when you're a swoof. It was chocolate last week, but now it's cherry. Used to be Lawrence, and now it's Larry. A swoof's a master of vocabulary. 'Cause we're ubiquitously, magnificently verbose.
And on the nose.
We walk the same, we talk the same. Swoops. We dance the same, wear pants the same. Swoops. We always follow the latest trends. And if you don't, we can't be friends. 'Cause we do everything, 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 everything the same. Instead of PS12, it's 13. We traded paperbacks for magazines. A swoof is not a swoof without a routine. What we see inside our swift is what we do.
Swoofs. All this walking forward is getting boring. What's really in style now is the sideways stroll. Stroll on, swoofs.
We used to fly planes, now we're at submarines. We used to cover hands, now it's tamarines. We used to dance to Boomerang, but now it's Billie Jean. And that's what it's like when you're a swoof. We walk the same, we talk the same. Swoops. We dance the same, wear pants the same. Swoops. catchy tune, isn't it? Well, now, if you couldn't tell, Mismatch wasn't quite like the other Swoops of Swooflia, where they were always up on the latest and greatest. Mismatch seemed to miss most of that.
Hey, Swoops! Time for your latest Swift! These jackets are just getting too dated. A whole 2 hours of the same outfits? I think not. It's time for vests. So send those sleeves down the swoop chute.
And that meant Mismatch began to stand out more and more.
Swoops. Hair colors are cool and all. But do you know what is swooptacular? Silver!
Cool, look at these wigs.
These
Look
are
at
awesome. So cool.
Look at how silver they are.
Hey guys, check out this
so
flower that
style.
just bloomed. I have never seen one this orange before. It looks like fire. Nice hat, Mismatch. What? Oh, yeah, thanks. It took me forever to find one this perfect for gardening.
Well, have a nice time with your flowers, Mismatch.
And that hat. Mismatch never seemed able to keep up with all the Swifts from Mayor Swoop. Oh, is that what they were laughing about? Another Swift. And that left him a little on the outside. Well, I do love being outside. I mean, look at this flower. He just couldn't seem to remember for his Swift every day. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. You know I'm the narrator, right? You're not supposed to talk to... Never mind. And that brings us to scene 2, the swooptacular Swift mismatched mishap.
Hey guys, a new Swift.
It's about the swooptacular.
The 100th annual.
The big one. Hello, fellow Swoops. It's Mayor Swoop with a Swift that you've all been waiting for. As you all know, being the 100th anniversary of our town Swooptacular, this year is gonna be a big one. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. The theme this year is...
Terrible service.
So get your costumes, your accessories, your everything.
I gotta get a new Swift. Okay, sorry.
This 100th Swooptacular is gonna be bigger than you can imagine. No, bigger. Mark your calendars for...
Oh, I got it now.
We'll see you there.
Mismatch.
You ruined everything.
Yeah, we didn't hear the theme, the costumes, the entertainment.
We even missed the date. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll have to go to the mayor's office and tell her what happened.
Yeah, she'll understand. We all know what Mismatch is like.
Some days it seems impossible that you're really one of us Swoofs.
Yeah, you don't talk or sing like us? No offense. None taken.
You never seem to know what the latest Swifts are like the rest of us. I mean, you can't even stroll like a Swoof.
Whoa, you're some sort of bad swap for a Swoof.
Hey, wait, my hat! My hat! Whoa! 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 Down the swoosh chute Mismatch fell. It was dark, and he fell so long he thought he'd never reach the end. Little did he know that this was the beginning of the greatest adventure of his life. Whoa! Oh, whoa. Who are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's fine. You just scared me. Wow. Where am I? This is sort of no man's land between cities where all the junk from Swoofia comes. And you must be from Swoofia.
but I have to say, you're the first live swoop I've ever seen come down the chute. You're not quite like the rest of them, are you?
That's what they keep telling me. Sorry again for scaring you.
It's fine. I should have been standing where I was. I mean, stuff comes flying out of there all day long.
Yeah, that's swoopy for you. Always something new to throw away.
So, well, who threw you away?
Me? Oh, that was just an accident. I was trying to grab my hat, and I really should be getting back now.
Do you know where you're going?
Back to Swooflia?
Well, quickest way back is coming where you came, but that gets pretty tricky.
How do I get back then?
Well, I can show you, but it's quite a hike.
How do I get, well, all right, let's get going.
Okay. Oh yeah, my name's Perrin, but most people call me Perry.
Oh, I'm a Mismatch.
That's a descriptive name.
Yeah, I guess it's technically just a nickname, but it's what everybody calls me.
Well, I'll think of something better.
They set off. After walking a while, they crested a tall hill and saw a town about the same size as Swooflia. But that's where the similarities stopped. Welcome, welcome, welcome!
We're so glad you're here.
It's party time yellow!
Swing from the chandelier.
Join us, dance and sing.
You don't want to miss a thing.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a breath. Hot air balloon that goes space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got and don't hold it back. Don't hold it back. I should probably warn you, I've been just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. I won't waste it, here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't let it. Bring me down, my love's too high. Bring me down, can't let it. Bring me down, I said because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. 'Cause I'm happy.
Come on, guys! Party is moving to the plaza fight. Whoa! Did you just grow that bush?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I saw the pot and I had these seeds and,
Wow!
oh, would you like it?
Yeah, I would. Thanks. So, are you guys coming?
No thanks. I'm good.
What about you? No thanks. we're just stopping by.
All right then, good luck and happy travels.
Well, that was fun.
It was? Yeah, I guess it kind of was.
Whoa, what do you mean? Way more than kinda.
Yeah, I just wish I didn't stick out like such a sore thumb everywhere.
Nah, you worry too much about fitting in. Didn't you see how happy he made that YOLO? He loved those flowers.
I guess.
Come on, Smash. Don't be glum. There's lots to see still.
Wait, Smash?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of a new nickname.
Oh.
So Perrin and Smash continued their journey through imagination. They passed through Titmuti, which was a very organized city, filled with mathematicians and engineers. And next, they came to Laureloo. And while they may be a little loony, they make incredible art. Mismatch began to enjoy seeing the new places. Or he would have, if he hadn't been so concerned that he stuck out everywhere. Watching Perrin, though, he began to think that maybe fitting in mattered less than he had once thought.
I don't know how you do it.
Do what?
Just know how to fit in everywhere.
Matches, it's not about fitting in. I'm just being me.
Being you? Well, I guess that's easy when you're good at everything.
Nah, there are lots of things I'm not good at. I'm just not afraid to try. Do you want to try?
Sure.
Come on, one more town, then you're home. I really think you're gonna like this next place. Welcome to Floravale.
Whoa! This place is beautiful.
I thought you'd like it. It's a place for gardeners, like you.
Can I garden too?
Well, I guess. It's what you love doing. Isn't it?
Nah. Well, I don't know. I guess it is.
Although Swoophia's just over the next hill.
It is? Oh.
Well, you know, Mismatch, there are a lot of flowers in Swoofia.
Yeah, I should know. I took care of most of them.
Well, what I mean is, you don't have to leave home to be who you're supposed to be.
And who is that?
Well, you do seem to find a garden everywhere you go. Or you make one.
Yeah, but the other Swoops don't understand me. And I can't keep up with all their trends anyways.
But you're a Swoof, and Swoofia's home.
Swoofia is home.
And I have a feeling they're gonna need someone like you around.
To laugh at.
To admire, and then help them figure out what they love doing. Well, just continue that way down the road, Mismatch. You'll end up right back in Swoofia. Can't miss it.
Wait, you aren't saying?
Nah, my road goes further on. I'm a traveler. You're a gardener. Well, best of luck, Mismatch.
Thanks, you too. And it's Maple.
What?
Maple. That's my real name, Maple.
Maple. Well, that's perfect. Well, bye, Maple. Hope you find what you're looking for.
Oh no, you've got to be kidding me. I don't have my trowel or watering can or anything. Okay, one quick trip back to Swoofia and then here to stay. Yeah, just a quick trip.
come to you today with a swift of most serious nature. In fact, this is the final swift. The swift to end all swifts.
What is she talking about?
I'm retiring! You see those tinsel wigs you guys bought? Yeah, those. My company makes those for 14 cents a wig. And you guys bought them for $300. Some of you even bought 2 or 3 of them. So, I'm moving to Hawaii. And just so you guys know, I just made those swift to see if you guys would do what I said. And you have, over and over. Oh man, that is a good one. Anyways, best of luck, Swoops. Mayor Swoof, out. Aloha!
Should I keep these shoes on? What am I
It's
doing?
too
That
far.
is a
It's
jacket.
too
Wig.
far.
What am I gonna do? I don't know what to do.
Guys,
Oh, it's this side. It's this side.
Oh, hey guys. I just came back from my gardening stuff. You see, I found this place and they like to garden too, so. Wait, what's going on here? I know I probably missed another swift.
The swift to end all swifts.
Yeah, Mismatch. The mayor is retiring.
And we don't know what to do.
At all. I mean, do you keep this wig on?
And what about these vests or jackets?
These wigs are fun.
But what about the Swiftacular? We never figured out what it was going to be.
Mismatch, you have to help us.
Who, me?
Yes. You always miss the swifts because you were digging or something.
Gardening. It's called gardening, and it's just what I like doing.
How do you know?
How do I know what?
What you like doing?
How do I know what I like doing, he says. That's a joke, right? It has to be. Oh, it's not? Oh. I just tried it one time. I saw a flower and the soil looked dry, so I just kept going.
So, should we all start gardening then?
If you want to.
But that's just it, Mismatch. We don't know what we want. Mayor Swoof just always told us.
Well, what would you do in between swifts?
I'd finger paint.
Well, that's good.
I like to build clocks.
I have dance parties in my room.
See? You don't need swifts to tell you who you're supposed to be. And you don't need to leave home either.
So, will you stay? Will you help us?
Well, there are a lot of flowers in Swuflia. Oh, and by the way, my name is Maple. Maple. Maple, a strong tree, a delicious topping for pancakes, but most importantly, our hero. The Swifts still had a long way to go in figuring out just who they were without their Swifts. But they had begun and had an excellent guide to lead them. Which brings us to our final moment that all great stories have, the reprise. We're not the same and that's okay. Swoops! I dance this way.
Build clocks.
Hooray! Swoops! We may not know all the latest trends, but we're so glad to be with our friends, 'cause we're imagining anything that makes us wanna sing. An astronomer up in the sky who also likes to scuba dive, a CPA to
All right, give them a hand. That was their fourth show today. You guys are awesome. I can't believe you're still alive. Still, your parents are going to sleep all night, right? Their parents have been here all day as well. Were they great? It was crazy. What do I need?
You need hair.
I need.
No, you need hair. You need hair.
They keep saying I need hair. Do I need hair? Hey, Marty, your daughter's telling me I need hair. Look at your dad. He doesn't have any hair. Okay, I'll do some hair.
Banana.
What do you think? Will this help? Is that better? Is that even better? Man, how do you people see with hair? I can't see anything. Should I do the message like this? What do you think? Because I'm bald. Did you say I'm bald? She did. The mayor of Swoopville. All right, guys, go. See ya. Go. Thank you. Thank you. Give him a hand. Seriously, great job. Great job. I mean, think about that. They've been, how many weeks? Hey, Rob, how many weeks you been working on this? 14 weeks. Every week they've been working on this. It's an amazing program that we have, Kaleo Kids. And some of you don't even know this. Some of the arts programs that these kids work on this in their school is we bring the art program to their school. Without us, they have no arts program. Isn't that cool? We partner with some schools in Pontiac, and we say, we will be your arts program. Yeah, it's awesome. And so if you've never been here before, the reason we do this, and we do it twice a year, we take the whole weekend service and let the kids basically do the whole thing, and I'm going to do a short little message. And we do it because we believe in the next generation. We believe in youth. We believe in these kids. We believe, if you were listening close, there was a message that was pretty profound in the middle of it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to fit in? Have you ever, tried to do whatever it took to be accepted by a certain group of people? Even now we still do it. But how about high school? Remember high school? Any of you remember high school where you had to wear certain clothes to get in? I got a picture of the shoes I wore to the high school prom. Here they are, 1975. This is what I wore. And I am not kidding. Mine were blue and khaki, which is god-awful, think about it. But I wore those at high school prom in 1975. Anybody else platform shoes? Not just for women? Yeah? For men too? I got up almost 6 foot, wearing those things. And then every day in the high school, when I was there in the 70s, we wore these jeans. Everybody wore bell-bottom jeans. In fact, that's a picture of me in 1975 right there. Actually, that's not me. I didn't never look that good. But I mean, he's got the platform shoes and the bell-bottoms. And am I right? Those things were like that wide. You sort of had to walk like this or they hit each other. It was crazy. And everybody wore them. What is wrong with us? Somebody starts a trend and we just copy. We're like sheep. We go along. And again, it's just a fashion thing, but we do it in every area. We really do. It isn't just kids that do this. It rarely goes away once you get into adulthood. I've been with the Detroit Lions 33 years as their chaplain, and I've watched rookies come in the league every year, and there's peer pressure in the locker room to buy certain cars because you have money now. And I've seen guys like, I'm not going to do that. I've never had money in my whole life. I'm not going to buy that car. It's too expensive. And a week later, they're driving it. It's crazy what we do to be a swoof. We just want to be a swoof. And sometimes we make bad decisions and get involved in bad behaviors. And when we look back on it, it's like, I really only did that because that group was doing it and I had to fit in. How crazy is that? And you think it goes away when you're an adult. But it doesn't. God's made us uniquely different, but yet we tend to fit in. I'll never forget when Ann and I went to seminary. We were married 2 years. We were in ministry at the University of Nebraska as their chaplain of the sports teams in Nebraska. You guys think I was only a chaplain of teams that lose? I actually was a chaplain one time of teams that win. Anyway, we realized in our second year marriage, second year ministry, that we felt God had called us to ministry long term. So we thought we need to go get training and went to a school in Southern California, get a master's of divinity. I'll never forget. The reason we chose this school of all the different schools that were options was because most seminaries at that time were book smart. You studied and studied and studied and learned theology, but weren't real good at practical ministry. This school called the International School of Theology, prided itself on, we're not just going to teach you how to study, we're going to teach you how to do ministry. So they put you on ministry teams in a church, and you actually did real ministry every week alongside studying. Pretty good idea, right? So, and they actually graded you on that. But you're gonna do weddings, you're gonna do funerals, you're gonna do counseling, you're gonna preach, all that kind of stuff. So we went to that school. Well, immediately they put us on a team. You don't have any choice. They just say, you're on this team at this church. The church that they put Ann and I on was the most conservative, strict church you could ever picture. Small little church in San Bernardino, California. It was pews, stained glass windows. Everybody wore suits and ties. Women were not allowed to wear anything but dresses, ever. It was just, you know what I'm talking about? They played an organ every week, and the woman that played the organ couldn't play. I think she wore mittens or something. It was really bad music, and you just endured it, and there were really no outsiders there. It was only insiders because nobody ever wanted to come to this church. Now, let me ask you, does that fit me? No. I mean, if a guy rode a motorcycle into that church, they'd think he was Satan from the pit of hell. That's what they would think. I'm not kidding. I mean, you couldn't even, it was so strict. And I'm not saying it was bad. It just didn't fit me. But I put on that tie every week, and I put on the jacket, and we went, and we sang these songs, and just didn't seem to work. And God had an interesting way to get my attention on this one. Easter Sunday, Ann and I are sitting toward the back of the church. We're singing a song out of our hymnal. And as we're singing, we see a guy come into the pew beside us, and there's a little bit of room. We're the last ones in this pew. And this guy walks in, and he has jeans and a T-shirt on. And the T-shirt was not clean, and he wasn't clean. You could tell he hadn't showered. As I looked at him, I thought, this guy is homeless. He woke up, realized it's Easter Sunday, and thought, I better go to church, and here he is. He sits down. Before he sat down, before the song was over, they did the Kensington Crunch. Only there's no reason to crunch. There's nobody there. But they did, say hi to your neighbor. So I see Ann turn and talk to this guy, and I talk to somebody over here. When we sit down, here's what Ann says to me. She goes, hey, this guy sitting beside me, he's coming over for lunch today. I go, what? She goes, I invited him over for lunch today. His name is Jim. I go, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. He's coming. So Jim came over to our house for lunch, and everything I thought was true. He was homeless. Used to have a really good job, lost that job. It's a long story. Ends up on the streets of San Bernardino downtown in a very dark area. He's homeless. He woke up on the streets. He doesn't have a shower or a bathroom. He just said, it's Easter. I used to go to church. I should go to church. He walked in our church, just like I thought. So we're sitting there talking to him, and the next thing I hear Ann say at the lunch table is, hey, Jim, do you need a place to live? You can live with us. I'm not kidding. I'm like, no, we can't. What are you doing? I mean, you can't do that, woman. You're supposed to submit to me. That's what we learned at that church as well. Anyway, she didn't. And so she's inviting this guy to come live with us because he has nowhere to live. And so anyway, as we start to talk to him a little bit more, I realized that he really wants to find his way back to God. And he had some buddies that wanted to do the same thing. And I even said to him, I said, you want to go to church again today? There's a service tonight. He goes, I'd love to. And can I bring my friends? I'm like, yeah. And guess what I thought? There's no way this guy's ever going to be accepted in the church I'm in. But I knew another church on the other side of town called Calvary Chapel, where everybody wore jeans. You could come any way you wanted because it didn't matter how you dressed. It just mattered who you were, that you were made in the image of God, and they loved everybody. And I knew Jim and his friends would be accepted at this other church, but would never be accepted at the church I was. So I said, I'll come downtown and pick you up at 5:30, services at 6. Where do you want me to pick you up? He said, I'll be out front of this grocery store. So I remember, I'm not kidding, when I left the house, Ann was staying home. When I left our apartment, I said to Ann, if I'm not back in 3 hours, call the police. I really did. And when I went to pick him up, I really was driving in one of the worst areas. I'd never seen this part of San Bernardino. So I pull up in front of this grocery store. There's Jim with his buddy in a wheelchair and a sign asking for money to help out his disabled friend. So I pull up right by the curb, and they see me, and he goes, hey, that's Dave. Let's go. The guy jumps out of the wheelchair, folds it up, and throws it in my trunk. I am not kidding. And they get in, and I go, dude, I thought you were in a wheelchair. He goes, oh, we just do that to get money, and it works. So I'm like, okay, I just picked up 2 liars, right? And I'm taking them to church. And as we pick up the other guys, they're smoking, and we're going to church, and we walk in Calvary Chapel, and nobody blinks because everybody there is casual, and they welcome everybody, and they love everybody. The music's awesome. You know, the preaching was awesome. It's just an unbelievable experience. And Jim loved it, and his buddies loved it. And I kept taking them back. And 6 months later, they all gave their lives to Jesus. It was awesome. They all came to Christ. And I know why. They came to Christ because they were loved by the people of God, and they knew God loved them as well, and they never felt that anywhere else. So all I knew, why am I telling you a story? Because all I knew is the ministry team I was on at the other church did not fit the way God had made me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that church was wrong or bad. It just didn't fit me. I'm a rock and roll guy who rides motorcycles and doesn't dress up hardly ever, unless I'm doing your funeral or your wedding. That's the only time you'll see me in a suit. And I had to wear one every weekend. It just didn't work. And so I did something nobody had ever done at that school, and I believe God wanted me to do this. I went to the dean of the school, and I said, I'll humbly ask this, but I really mean this. Can I switch ministry teams? He goes, what do you mean? I go, I just don't fit at that church. Ann and I, we just don't fit. We'll do it if we need to, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot there. But man, could we join the Calvary Chapel ministry team? It's who we are. And he goes, I think you should. And so for the next 2.5 years, that's where I served on the ministry team. Within 6 months, I'm playing in the band. Why? I'm a rocker like all the guys who were in the band. It came to Christ, and it was just like, it just fit us perfectly. And here's what I want you to know. It's what this whole day was all about. God made you uniquely to be you, no one else. He does not want you to be anybody else. In fact, I said it this way. It's the only thought you need to remember for the whole night is God uniquely made you to do you. God uniquely made you to do you. Don't do me. Don't do anybody else. Do you the way you do you. And then as I thought about it, God gave me this. This is from God. Anything else is a boo. Maybe that's not from God, but you get it. It rhymes with you, and it's like it really is true. If you don't do you and you try to copy somebody else, here, I'm doing it right here. They had to do the slide thing, right? It was like crazy. That's what we do. We put on the clothes, we put on the act, we do this whole thing, and if you do anything but you, it's a boo. People are like, no, that's not who God made you be, because here's the truth. You've heard me say this many times here before. God has designed every one of us unique, and what's that mean? That means what's in your hand, what's in your heart. Anybody know what I mean by that? Here's what it means. You have skills. You have gifts that are different than anybody else. I call that what's in your hand. That's your abilities and skills. God made you uniquely with some skills. That's what's in your hand. What's in your heart is what keeps you up at night. What are you passionate about? That's different than everybody else too. Some things you can't sleep because you're so worked up. Bill calls it a holy discontent. You just have it's a good discontent. I can't sleep until this is solved, or I need to be a part of doing this. That's what's in your heart. So you couple what's in your heart with what's in your hand, and God says, that's what I want you to do. And it's going to be different than anybody else. In fact, here's all I'm going to do. I can teach you one verse. One verse. I hope you memorize this verse. You'll notice these kids, after I'm done, are going to come out here and recite to you Psalm 139. You're going to be embarrassed because they memorize this psalm. It's not just one verse. It's several. They're not reading it. They've memorized it over the past 14 weeks. I'm going to give you one verse to memorize. I think it's powerful for you and I to understand who God is and how he's designed us with a unique identity. It's Ephesians 2:10. The Apostle Paul wrote a letter to a church in a city called Ephesus. It's called the book of Ephesians. He's sort of explaining the gospel, and then right at the end of it, he says, let me tell you something that you really need to understand. He says, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. You think you can memorize that? Simple. That's it, one verse. We are God's handiwork. What's really interesting about my seminary experience is I did learn Greek. And when you look at this word handiwork in the Greek, it's interesting to know the word is poema. Sound like any English word you've ever heard? Poema. It's poem in the English. It's like God wrote you and me as a poem. Here's a better, more literal translation. God says you and me are a work of art. And another translation is this: you are a masterpiece. You are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do something really, really good on this planet. Now think about that. This is what God's saying to you. He means this. These kids need to understand this. Parents, teach your kids what I'm going to teach you. But if you don't believe it yourself, it's hard to pass it on. Here's what God's saying. You are my masterpiece. I look at you every day, he says this, and I say, work of art. It's almost, and I know this is taken a little too far, but probably not. It's almost as if God's in heaven. He looks down at you and he goes, angels, come here, look, masterpiece. Look at her. Look at him. And they're not going, that guy, that girl. They're going, you are so right, God. Oh, look, come here. Look at that one. And every one of them, he's like, I put this in them, and I put that in them, and they have this passion. Look at that, masterpiece. Now, let me ask you something. Is that what you think when you look in the mirror in the morning? That's what you should think. But I bet you believe lies that you've heard all your whole life, that your mom said to you, your dad said to you, a coach said to you, a teacher said to you, an old boyfriend, a girlfriend said to you, somebody said to you, and these lies are playing in your head. I'm not a masterpiece. I'm nothing special. I'm just a... That is a lie from the pit of hell. You hear me? That's a lie from the pit of hell. When you hear these words, you're a masterpiece, you're a work of art. That's the voice of God. That's the voice of Jesus to you. He says, man, you look in the mirror in the morning, you shouldn't be going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this? Oh, you should be like, oh, wow. Now, I know you're not going to do that tomorrow, but you should. Wow, anybody remember the Fonz? The show would start, the Fonz would go to the mirror and he'd be like ready to do his hair and he'd be like, nothing I can do, it's perfect. That's how we should look in the mirror. And again, that's not arrogance, that's just believing, oh my gosh, God says he uniquely made me as a work of art and I'm his masterpiece. And when you start to believe that, great things happen. I had a teacher, second grade, Mrs. Tucker, that told me that every day. Here's where she told me. Every day when the class would go out to recess, I and like 3 other classmates had to go to another classroom. You know why? Because we were special. What's special mean? Special needs. It wasn't a special good, it was special bad. We couldn't communicate well, so we had to go during recess to speech therapy class. And I was in there in speech therapy class, and I had a terrible self-image. My dad had just walked out. Mom and dad are alcoholics. My little brother just died, and I'm in second grade, and I think all of that worked itself up, and I couldn't really even talk. So I go in this room, and everybody's going out to play, and it just killed me because I love recess. It's the best period of the day, and I'm good at recess, but I can't go out there and be good. I have to go in here where I'm bad. But here's what happened every day in that speech therapy class. I can't even talk. See, it didn't work. Every day in that speech therapy class, Mrs. Tucker would do 2 things. She would always read the Bible. How about that for public school in the 60s? She'd read us a Bible story. It's the only place I really ever heard it. And then she would look at each one of us, and I'll never forget, every day she'd say, David Scott Wilson, I'm 8 years old. I just moved from New Jersey to Ohio because my family blew up. And I have no stability in my life except Mrs. Tucker saying, David Scott Wilson, God has amazing plans for you. Someday, God is going to use you to do something spectacular, and I bet he's going to do it with your mouth. That's what she said. And I'm thinking, there's no way. I'm in speech therapy class. Never will anything God do be good with my language or my speech. And I chose somewhere along the way to do what? Believe what Mrs. Tucker said and what my mom said. My mom every single day. Think about this. She goes through a divorce, a horrible divorce, a death of her youngest son, and every day of my life with her, she spoke words that were greatness to me. She never once spoke negative. You are great. God is going to do something great. I heard that every day. And somewhere along the line, I started to believe I am really a masterpiece. Doesn't matter what anybody says. It only matters what God says. And he says you are his masterpiece. And he wants you to do what? Something great for the kingdom of God on planet Earth. See, do you remember what it said? For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do what? Good works, which he had prepared beforehand for us to walk in. So it isn't just he put these gifts and passions in our heart just for us. He's like, I want to take all that. I uniquely made you to be you. Now go do that and bless the world. Do good works, because that's why I've made you unique. It isn't just for you to pull it in. It's like, go use that and bless the world. And I'll finish with one last story. And as I do, I want to take the offering, because here's what makes sense to me. God tells us when he gives us something, don't just keep it all for us. Bless the world with it. What do we do when we take the offering? We take what God has given us financially and we give some back. God doesn't say give it all back. He says keep most of it yourself, but give some of it back as a step of faith to say, I believe, God, you will provide, and I believe this blessing is from you. And so the ushers are going to come and they're going to pass the pouch. And let me say this. If you're new here tonight, which is awesome. You probably came because maybe a friend's son or daughter's in this play. You're our guest. You don't have to give a dime unless you want to. You can do that, but you don't have to. This is for Kensington people who understand this and say, this is my home, and I want to give back a little bit of what God has given me. So think about this. God's uniquely made you, and he wants you to use that uniqueness to do good works to bless others. Years ago, my oldest son, CJ, is 32 years old. So this is when he was like maybe 11. I go over to school to hang out with him and his buddies at lunchtime. The teacher said I could do that every once in a while. So every 6 weeks or so, I didn't want to be the dad that was never involved because all the moms were always there. I'd show up. And so I'd show up, and we go in and have lunch, and then after lunch, everybody go out in the playground and play. Well, one of my gifts my whole life was I was always able to throw things well. Baseballs, footballs, you name it. So I would go out after lunch, and I'd create games with these kids. And so I'd always grab a football. And I remember this one day, got a football, I broke the girls and boys up on different teams, and I'm an all-time quarterback. And I'll never forget this. My goal is not, I don't care if I win a game, I just want to get every kid the ball at some point. Because I'm the quarterback, I can make sure it happens. Well, here's what happens. We're playing this game, and I throw the ball to one of CJ's buddies, Timmy. Timmy was oversized for his age, probably hit puberty early. He was very tall, sort of looked like Bill Gates. Get that image in your mind? He was sort of nerdy, right? And so when I throw him the ball, he drops it. You know why? He's not gifted as an athlete. He was actually gifted as an engineer and a mathematician. He would have done well in this land. Remember this land? That was the way Timmy's made. So when I threw him the ball, he couldn't catch it. I didn't really know that until I threw it, but as it came, you realize he's probably never going to be able to catch a ball. That's okay. That's not his gift. So I threw him the ball, but as that happened and he dropped it, another kid on the other team who's a very good athlete, probably the best athlete out there, he made fun of Timmy really loud. And I guess this happened all the time. You can tell by the way it went. This happened all the time. He goes, Timmy, you're such a loser. Can't even catch the ball. Mr. Wilson, don't ever throw that loser the ball. He'll never catch it. You know what I did? I looked at Ben. His name was Ben, and I said, shut up. That's what I said. Yeah, that's what pastors do sometimes. I said, shut up. Don't you ever say that again. I was ticked. And so we're playing the game again, and, you know, I wanted to give Timmy a chance. He was like 3 feet away. I'll play later or so, and I just flipped the ball like this to him, and he dropped it. Because he just didn't have that gift. He just dropped it. And Ben went off. I told you not to throw it. He's such a loser. He can't even walk straight. So I walked over to Ben. I grabbed him by the collar of his shirt, and I walked him over to the teacher who was standing by the front door to go back in after lunch period was over. And I said, this young man needs to go inside. He's done. And she looked at me like, who are you? It was so funny. I'm like, oh, I'm CJ's dad. And I didn't say pastor or anything. It didn't want to freak her out. I just said, I'm CJ's dad. And she goes, why does he need to come in? And I wasn't holding him anymore. I was just standing there. And I said, because he's calling everybody out here a loser. She goes, Ben, are you doing that? He goes, oh, he is a loser. He's the biggest loser ever. And he made a comment about me. And so she goes, okay, that's enough. And she took him in. That's how it ended. Until like 5 or 6 days later, I was at parent-teacher conference. Totally forgotten about this moment, and I get done with one of CJ's teachers, and I was just about to turn, and as I turn, there's this tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and there's this mom I'd never met before. And she goes, hey, are you CJ Wilson's dad? I go, yeah. And she starts to cry. She goes, I'm Timmy's mom. And she said, Timmy came home this week and told me that you stood up for him on the playground. I mean, now I'm crying. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, he told you? She goes, nobody's ever in his life stood up for Timmy. His son walked out, his dad walked out a year ago, and he's alone, and he couldn't stop talking about Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson valued me on the playground. She said, thank you. And I was standing there thinking, God used my little gift of loving to play football and throwing the ball around to do a good work, and I didn't even know it. How's that happen? God uniquely made you as a masterpiece. For yourself? No, to bless others. So let me ask you, you gonna walk out of here and swoof it the rest of your life? Try and fit in and do what everybody else wants you to do? Or are you gonna walk out of here going, God made me so beautifully unique? And I've got skills and passions and desires other people don't have, and he wants me to use those to bless the world. God, use me to bless the world. Now, these kids are going to come back out right now, and they're going to read you from Psalm 139. They're actually, like I said, they're not going to read it. They're going to memorize it and quote it for you. And this is from an Old Testament song that David wrote. And it's such a beautiful psalm. Now listen in. I'm telling you, parents, adults, listen in. Don't miss this. From the mouth of children, you're going to hear the truth of God about what God says is true about me and you and about all of us. You are uniquely made from God, and you are supposed to do you. Listen to these words.
Lord, you have seen what is in my heart. You know all about me. You know when I sit down and when I get up. You know what I'm thinking, even though I'm far away. You know when I got to work and when I come back home. You know exactly how I live.
Lord, even before I speak a word, you are all around me. You are behind me and in front of me. You hold my hand safely. I'm amazed how well you know me. It's more than I could even understand.
How can I get away from your spirit? Where can I go to escape from you? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I lie down in the deepest part of the earth, you are also there. Suppose I were to rise up with the sun in the east. Suppose I were to travel to the west where it sinks into the bottom of the ocean. Your hand will always be there to guide me. Your right hand will still be holding me close.
Suppose I were to say, until the darkness will hide me, the light around me would turn as dark as night. Even that darkness will not be dark to you. The night would shine like the day because darkness is like light to you.
You created the deepest parts of my being. You put me together inside my mother's body.
How you made me is amazing and wonderful, and I praise you for that. What you have done is wonderful, and I know that very well.
None of my bones was hidden from you when you made me inside of my mother's body. That place is as dark as the deepest parts of the earth. While you were putting me together there, your eyes saw my body even before it was formed. You planned how many days I would live. You wrote the number of them down in your book before I had lived through even one of them.
God, thoughts about me are priceless. No one could possibly add them all up. If I could count them, they would be more than grains of sand. If I were to fall asleep counting and then wake up, you would still be there with me.
God, see what is in my heart. Know what is there. Test me. Know what I'm thinking. See if there's anything in my life you don't like. Help me live the way that is always right. Okay, so I'm going to pray. So bow your heads and clap to your hands. Dear God, thank you for having all these amazing kids here today. And thank you for making us all ordinary. And it would be pretty boring if we all walked the same and talked the same, danced the same, and were parents the same. And I wanted to thank you for making us all ordinary. Amen.
He sings a lullaby, lullaby to you. He sings a lullaby, lullaby to you. Oh, lullaby, lullaby to you. Lullaby, lullaby.
amazing? Okay, next we're going to sing a song written by our very own Ella Getz. Here to sing it for you today. But before we do, I want to teach something to you that we've been learning in class.
Come on, teach it to them. I'm going to help you. We got a part. They've got a part. So tell us what we're doing.
Okay, so when I say the known R, the first time, you say seen. And when I say the known R the second time, you say heard. And when I say the known R the fourth time, you say trusting in God's word. Okay.
You'll get it. You'll get it. Here we go.
Third time. Okay. Here we go. We're doing it 3 times. Okay. The known R.
Seen.
The known R.
Heard.
The known R.
Trusting in God's word. Okay, hold on. Stand up. We got to get you up. We got to get you moving a little bit, all right? A little blood flowing. Hey, it's all right to do this in church. Right here, baby. You get it? This is all I got right here. It's all I got. Come on, you moving? The known R. Seen. Okay, here we go.
The known R.
Seen.
The known R.
Heard.
The known R.
Trusting in God's word. The known R. Seen. The known R. The known R. One more time.
The known R.
Seen.
The known R.
Heard.
The known R.
Trusting in God's word. All right, let's sing a little bit. Let's dance. You guys ready to sing and dance? Let's do it. Uh-oh. I better go look out.
Have you ever felt like a lion with no roar?
wrote that song. She wrote that song. They're awesome. When they awesome, give them 5. There you go, guys. I danced with them all morning. I never learned that dance. I never got it right. Hey, great night. If you want to pray with somebody, our prayer team be here. Next Sunday is Mother's Day, but there's no 6 p.m. service. Do not come back at 6 p.m. next Sunday. We want you to be home celebrating Mother's Day next Sunday night, all right? So you got it? But be here in the morning if you want to come join us and bring somebody Mother's Day. It's going to be a fabulous, fabulous service, all right? God bless you. Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.